As this is a story of our love of a mountain called Mammoth, I should introduce our family first. We are the Wilkinsons. From left to right, Kathy, Karen, me, Pat, R.D., and Ron. Our love of Mammoth started for us back in 1965, and we've made this 350-mile trip dozens of times. Each one is a new adventure. Traveling Highway 395 is a treasure trove of nature at its most awesome. A beautiful desert, majestic mountains, and shimmering lakes, and always something unique to visit. We'll visit the ones we found the most fun and fascinating. So hang on and enjoy Old and Rusty. Ron always loved those the most. We've been stopping here for years for cheap gas and great food at the Roadhouse. Boron is a former federal prison camp. It's a kick to wander through its wreckage. Still, it's a working radar facility. The desert was abloom when we were there, and it was so beautiful. Gold was discovered on the slope of Rand Mountain in 1895, and by 1899, 3,500 people lived here. The stamp mills taking out over $60 million during the boom years. The jail and the saloon hosted many a miner, cowboy, farmer, and Indian during those peak mining years. The population is 69 now. The general store serves the best old-fashioned malts and soda fountain fare you'll find anywhere in Southern California. We never made a trip without stopping here. The town of Ridgecrest as we turn north. The mountain ridge where it got its name looms sharply ahead of us. place ahead. There's some special spots along this part of 395, like the Little Lake Hotel had the best soup. I even had the recipe and I lost it. It burned down in '89, unfortunately. Brady's with the flying mobile horse and a great cup of coffee. Dry Lake is a large salt flat and also a renowned bird sanctuary, and known in 2013 as the largest single source of dust pollution in the United States. How about that? So typical of the small mom and pop diners along the highway, soon to close to fast cars and fast food. These places often offered something besides food to lure their customers in. The Alabama Hills are known for its TV shows and over 400 movies, not to mention its rugged rock formations, and of course Mount Whitney, rising over 14,000 feet. The biggest and the best of the cowboys played shoot 'em up in these rugged hills. And there's my cowboy. Lone Pine is all about Mount Whitney, the Alabama Hills, and the famous Western Film Museum. Here's Kathy and RD by the water fountain, which comes directly from Whitney, and they're joined by the local cat. Since 1989, Lone Pine celebrates their film history with a festival on Columbus Day weekend. This museum is a must for all movie lovers. Out of Lone Pine, the White Mountains showed up covered in recent snow. We came off a rise, and the sun hit a snow-capped peak ahead of us. It was absolutely breathtaking. Manzanar is widely known as the site of one of 10 American concentration camps, where over 100,000 Japanese Americans were incarcerated during World War II, from December 1942 to 1945. It's an emotional experience to visit here. If you have a chance to do so, please do. These beautiful pelicans so far from the sea are migrating north to either Pyramid Lake or into British Columbia. The Eastern California Museum was founded in 1928. Its mission is to collect and preserve objects and information related to the cultural and natural history from Death Valley to Mammoth Lake. It was one of Ron's very favorite museums. Welcome to Bishop, population 3,782. We looked to retire here at one time. Has a nice golf course. Schatz Bakery is the place to stash up with bread and pastries. Good eating, too. Dave McCoy, the founder of Mammoth, has a big ranch just located out of town. We're on the old highway heading for Tom's Place. Built in 1917 as a gas station and cookhouse, Tom's remains a favorite stop for locals and skiers alike. The food is down home and the coffee is the best in the Sierras. It's like the good old days here and you can always count on it. Ron used to grab a bunk here in the 50s when there wasn't much available up on the hill. We're on our way to Crawley Lake, a pretty little town which is a reservoir on the Upper Owens River. It exists to serve the LA Aqueduct and fishermen, and provides affordable housing for both Mammoth workers and skiers. We're back on 395, just outside of Bishop, heading up the Sherwin grade. We'll be climbing 3,000 feet to the summit of 7,000 pretty quickly. It's a very beautiful drive and sometimes treacherous if the weather's bad, but it's the only way to get to Mammoth, so that's what we're doing. The photos show a little bit of both types of weather. Enjoy! Ahead is the turnoff to Crawley Lake, and on the side of that mountain is where I took those photos of Crawley Lake, which you saw earlier. And here we get our first views of Mammoth Mountain. Mammoth has their own airport servicing jets from all over the world. Big time these days. This ends our 350-mile trip. We hope you enjoyed this part of it, and now we're going to learn what it's like to live on the mountain for a while. Sometimes the dreaded chain patrol meets us in bad weather. However, we have four-wheel drive, so we don't have anything to worry about. Now, driving in snow is not for the faint of heart. Here's what that's all about. However, here is sunshine and snow sparkle, welcoming us on another day. There's Mammoth with a layer of fresh snow, and the turnoff to our condo complex, Snowflower. It's a large complex of privately owned two-bedroom with loft condos, and we've stayed here for many years. The bus stop is right in front, and the views are great. Some wall decor by Tom Johnston, Main Lodge, early 70s. Tom was a Mammoth photographer and a longtime camera club member, and a treasured mentor of mine. Unable to ski, I would sometimes watch the family on the live cam. Here's Ron saying hi from the lodge. When we're here, storms are our welcome happening, as long as they're short and overnight. The results are always beautiful, but require a lot of work to dig the cars out. gives you a little idea how small the town is and where some of the places are that I'm taking you to. This is Grumpy's. It's been here forever. If you love beer and sports, then this is your place. We've gone to burgers every trip for decades, always knowing we get the best burgers, fries, shakes, and service in town. It's family run. It's the best. There were a lot of years when we were lucky enough to have friends' cabins to rent. Then there's a little blast from the past. This is Sherwin Meadow, part of Sherwin Bowl. To the right is the trailhead leading up to several beautiful lakes. I hiked this with Karen once years ago when she was living here. The bridge in the distance is actually a ski trail leading down to Eagle Chair at Juniper Springs, which is where we're heading now. I thought I'd give you a quick tour of one of the high-end areas of Mammoth. Homes here go for between 2.5 and 6 million. How's that? To be one of my favorite areas. There are wide trails, very few people, and no snowboarders. The village was built in 2003. There's a hotel, condos, shops, and restaurants. Just a little bit of aspirin here, I guess. Meet Dave McCoy. He built his first rope tow in 1942. He charged 50 cents, and that was the beginning. Chair 1 opened on Thanksgiving of 1955. Ron was there. 75 years later, there are 23 chairs and 3 gondolas able to move 50,000 skiers an hour. Dave finally retired from running the mountain in 2005, age 80. By the way, We were here during the winter of '69. It was awesome. Cars actually disappeared for months. This is the Village Gondola, opened in 2003. It's a short ride up to Canyon Lodge. We used to go by bus. You can still do that though. Canyon is close to town, good for young families skiing, gives easy access to any part of the mountain, also has nice lounging area. Our last stop around town is Twin Lakes, also a favorite for its natural beauty. If you love fishing, this is a perfect place to sink a hook. It's also the entrance for cross-country skiers, hikers, and those who love snowshoes into the John Muir Wilderness. For us, this is the easiest way to get to the top of the mountain, the good old Mammoth bus. The ride up the mountain takes about 15 to 20 minutes. Gets a little crowded with all the snowboarders. Skis are loaded outside in racks, thank goodness. Everyone meet Wooly, Mammoth's famous mascot. The bus straps you off right in front. Lift tickets come next, $99 a day, pretty high. You can rent everything. Boots, skis, and poles. You can rent demos of the newest equipment if you want. Buying is available. Wonderful store there. The cafeteria offers everything from soup to nuts, hot meals, sandwiches, or just snacks. The Tusk Sports Bar overlooks the hill, and it's for those who might find the hill a little bit too challenging or just wants a break and watch a football game. It's full of TJ's wonderful photography too, by the way. Discovery Chair is a wonderful area for new skiers and little ones learning. The old Mammoth Inn is in the background. has a fabulous kiddie school and nursery, which is always fun to watch. On this particular day, there was a snowboard competition, and it's a beautiful shot of the half pipe they just finished making. On sunny days, we'd gather on the deck. They have barbecue going and a beer bar. And here are some shots of the old days just for fun. This year, the snow was as high as the deck. There were tunnels to all the doors. It was lots of fun, but strange. Here's the trail map of Mammoth Mountain. It's 3,500 acres, 150 runs, and 28 lifts. Pretty terrific. Tired, ready for food and drink? Here's our favorite place to drop our skis. These are the ski patrol people, the mountain police, and the rescue personnel. We count on them to keep us safe. Built in 1999, the Panorama Gondola building houses the amazing machine that moves thousands of skiers and visitors up the mountain to over 11,000 feet every year. It takes about 15 minutes, and it's breathtaking, except on a stormy day. Then it's warmer than the chairs. For anyone that's an engineer, it's a fascinating machine. Enjoy the ride. This is the midway point called McCoy Station. These two slides give you a feeling of the height and also the spectacular views you get when taking this ride. But can you imagine the power it takes to pull all those cars up at that angle? It's amazing. This is the top of Stump Alley, which is one of our very favorite runs. Cornice now boasts an interpretive center offering some of the most breathtaking 360-degree views in North America. The endless peaks of the Sierras are viewed through marvelously placed tubes, which act like telescopes. There are marvelous displays and videos about nature and the old days. There's a restaurant, and for skiers, the best diamond runs in the high Sierras. Ron gave me a gold skier charm when I skied off the top the first time. McCoy is midpoint on the mountain, a good place to rendezvous, rest, and eat. The old trail map sign was our favorite. The photo was some of the village ski club gang. Many wonderful, wonderful trips with them. Some of you may have noticed that Ron skis in his Levi's, except when there's a storm. It's a perfect day. Sun's out, new snow, midweek, and not crowded. Coming out of the locker we've used for years to Thunderbound will take you through the ticket gate right onto the chair. Uh-oh. Yeah. So modern.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's really easy to
Still videotaping? That's Main Park, full of jumps for the snowboarders and skiers too. We'll be heading up to McCoy Station to get off. That's the midpoint, and we'll take Chair 3 up to the back, and our favorite place to start the day. Chair 1 is a lot faster and more comfortable than the old days for sure. And to the right is Fascination, set up for races. Not necessarily a ride for those with a queasy stomach, but the views are fantastic. The following is a reminder that all days are not sunny and bright. Ron and Kathy riding up to the back side of Chair 3, be skiing down San Antone, a beautiful wide open run, and back to Main Lodge. This was one of the best runs of all. Hang on for some wild skiing with these two just last year.
That was yeah. Whee!
Coming up are videos of Karen and RD skiing this part of the mountain. Just a few photos from the family album before we start wrapping up here. We hope you've enjoyed your trip to Mammoth, and perhaps this will encourage you to take the ride. Enjoy getting here and visiting for a while. Winter or summer, it's spectacular. Because of Ron's deep and abiding love for skiing, he gave to his family and to so many others a special gift to be treasured for years to come.